This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 110 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. This tip is sponsored by Equestrian Collections. It's not too late to buy that gift certificate for Christmas. You have a couple days yet, and it happens instantly at equestriancollections.com. Enjoy today's tip. I am Glenn the Geek from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, we only have a few days left before Christmas this year, and that's hard to believe that it's come around this quickly. We are going to be doing 3 shows this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then taking the rest of the week off. There'll be 3 shows again next week because of the New Year's holiday, and then we'll be back on schedule the beginning of January. Today we have back with us international dressage rider Lisa Wilcox, who, as you know, is the co-host of the Dressage Radio Show, and a lovely lady that I got to meet in Florida a couple weeks back. It was so nice to actually get to meet her in person. She's an international dressage competitor, trainer, and teacher, and I think she's very good at doing her tips on the Dressage Radio Show. This tip is taken from episode 30. I can't speak today. It gets to be Christmas time, and I can't speak. This tip is taken from episode 30 of the Dressage Radio Show. If you would like to hear the whole show, please take a listen in at dressageradio.com. Don't forget, you have a couple days left before Christmas, and I know a lot of you have forgotten what to buy a gift for someone, or you just haven't gotten around to it yet, and you're running out of time, and you don't know what to get. Well, the perfect solution for that horse lover in your life is a gift certificate from Equestrian Collections. Equestrian Collections is your one-stop shop for everything you need for your equestrian person in your life, your horse in your life, your child in your life, man, women, children, they carry it all. And they carry tens of thousands of items for you and for your friends and family to choose from. So the perfect gift is Equestrian Collections gift certificate. You can get them instantly. Just stop over to equestriancollections.com and click on the gift certificate link. They have a whole bunch of different denominations there, so you'll find one that you can afford and that your horse-loving friend will absolutely love. That's equestriancollections.com. And here is Chris Stafford and Lisa Wilcox on the Dressage Radio Show doing their tip of the week.
Well, I hope you enjoy these next topics. We're going to be talking, Lisa, about something that you feel strongly about, but riding off the track and using that quarter line.
Correct, because basically the topic for discussion is honest outside aids. Honest outside aids. And in order for us to have honest outside aids, we need to get off the wall. And how many, or the fence or whatever it is we have out there, how many of us just go around that arena on the wall and have no idea if we have an outside rein or not until somebody says, okay, half pass. And you realize how little you have exercised half halts or any type of throughness half halting because you simply let the horse lean on the wall. So when I look around in a working arena and I see people hugging that wall, I know where those problems are going to arise. The minute we want to hit a center line, the minute we need to set up a shoulder in, we don't have our outside reins. And so what I have found, if I do never allow myself to be on the track, I can stay very focused and very concentrated. I know the instant I lose that outside shoulder. I know the instant I lose the connection to that outside rein. And then it's not riding what I call lost for several minutes and then realizing it after I'm requiring my horse to do a circle or leave the wall into a half pass or try to even set up a shoulder for or a shoulder in. And so I really stay honest with yourself about your outside aids. Make sure your aids are that horse's wall on the outside, not that. And I have found horses find walls to be very, very much like magnets. They're drawn to them.
You know what
You
this?
had this before, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where
You know what?
just finally feel like, ho, 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 I am stuck to the wall here.
And, obviously that wall is there when you're in an indoor arena, so it's more of an anchor and more of, a pillar that you're drawn to than obviously if you were outdoors. But still, if you have a fence or something that's high, it gives you even more of as you call it, a magnet. You know what it makes me think of, Lisa? I'm a very, very moderate swimmer. And so when I get into a swimming pool, I prefer to go down the side of the wall. So I feel like, that's just kind of my security.
It's
that
something to balance on, make sure that
exactly. And if I go away from the wall, or if I'm, don't have any guide for my line, I can't guarantee I could swim in a straight line. Yeah. And it's the same kind of mentality, and certainly if I'm swimming the backstroke, there is no chance of me going straight if I'm not against the wall. It's the same kind of thing.
Don't backstroke the wall.
So I think, by having that wall, if it's an indoor arena, or a fence if you're outdoors, if you take that away, you are out there. And, it's like riding, eventers will ride in, or jumpers might ride in a field, if it, and try and go in a straight line in the field. I think with dressage riders, so often, as you say, we don't get off that track and learn an independent line.
It dawned on me this last weekend at a horse show when I see so many riders get lost without a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And by riding a quarter line, you learn to be able to draw an imaginary line. I make sure I have a straight line. I look at a point in the distance down the long side that I want to ride to. So it's not just drifting somewhere away from the wall. That helps no one either. That you really draw these imaginary lines and you follow them. And then you can take that out to a field and you're not lost. You're able to draw lines for yourself and keep yourself, you keep your horse and yourself focused and on track.
Focused and on track. And it makes me wonder, do you notice when riders are riding towards a mirror in an indoor arena, Lisa, if that gives them something of a distraction, that they're maybe so busy looking at their own riding position that they are not being honest with their outside aids as much as they're so focused on what they look like. Does that a distraction sometimes?
You do have to learn how to use a mirror.
Mm.
And as Ernst would say, it's not to check your makeup.
Yes, exactly.
Your hair is fine. But the point is that you do have to learn to be able to look in the mirror, see the position of the horse. I do encourage my riders to look in the mirror, to look at their seat. Look at your hands. Now look at the position of the horse. You're riding the horse toward. Look, is that shoulder forward?
Mm-hmm.
Are those two outside legs aligned? Is the one inside stepping in between the two fronts? Look at the positioning. Look at how you're positioning your horse. Look at the flexion. Look at the height of the pole. Look at the open. I really encourage them to analyze what they're creating. I want them to see what they're creating, because also some people work with their heads in the sand. They have no idea, and they're just pulling, and the horse is basically very round behind the vertical, and they don't realize it. They don't have an appreciation for the feel of what they're doing. So if they look in the mirror, they can apply the mirror visual and learn the feel for where that horse is positioned.
That's a good tip. And I think what it is also a useful tip, a useful aid, Lisa, when you're riding in a straight line, whether you're going down the track or down the quarter line, is to get someone with a camera behind you and filming you going away in that line, so you can see what that looks like from behind and see how straight you thought you were.
Exactly.
So also a useful tip to use a video camera. But Well, I think that's a good advice. Good advice, and hopefully our listeners will practice that riding off the track and getting onto that quarter line and learning an independent line and ride straighter than I can swim. That's the message.
Yes, absolutely. Imaginary lines.
Well, thank you to Lisa and Chris for bringing us that tip. You can hear the rest of that fascinating episode where they had Tammy Hogue, the international author and Grand Prix dressage rider, on, and that was episode 30. Well, we're running out of time for this year, that's for sure. We have 2 more episodes this week and 3 next week, and then we're back to full schedule the following week. You can drop me an email at glenn@horseradionetwork.com. Let us know what you enjoyed this year. Let us know if you're liking listening to these shows. We want to hear from you. We like all the mail we can get. And also, please subscribe to the shows through iTunes or Zune and get the daily tips automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip, and then stay tuned on Wednesday for a special treat from the Horse Radio Network. Until then, stay safe, everyone.